Hello, I'm Tony Lloyd, and I'm really pleased to say with me today is Paula Love Clark, who is a very accomplished author, an artist, a poet, and a few other things. And Paula, you've just launched the Creative Single Mum, haven't you? So we need to find out all about that. But I want to find out a bit about you first, so we can tell people who you are, where you've come from, and so on. How did you get involved with all this to start with?
Okay, so when I was a makeup artist before the lockdowns happened, and then freelance, and so when they came and, you know, everyone had to stop working, pretty much I started to write and paint. So then over the course of the last 3.5 years, I've written and published 5 books, 2 poetry books, 1 self-help book for single parents, a quirky book called The Diary of a Lockdown Mum, and then I've just written my first novel and published my first novel called Pyramid. And I've had my own art exhibition. I'm known as the Angel Painter, and I've presented 2 podcasts myself. And so lots of people have asked me, you know, how do you do it? Why do you juggle how come you juggle so much? How do you manage to do everything? I'm also a single parent of 3 children and a fur mummy. So I've got a Labrador. It was actually hard at work.
I was wondering what a fur mummy was.
Yeah.
Oh,
so basically, he's harder than the rest of them all put together. He's more demanding.
Okay.
And so last year I was in I was in Spain, and I was messaging a friend who lives in New Orleans and who's very successful, has 4 degrees, and loads of masters and everything. He's very, very in tune with lots of things, and he said, "You should run this. You should help and coach other single parents because, you know, you've been there, you've walked the walk." I think I was having a moan at the time about being a single parent on holiday. And so he kind of planted a seed in me. And then I think it was sometime in July, I was on a road trip with my friend, business thing, and we were going up for a weekend, and I said, I feel like I'm brewing something. Something's you know, I've got an idea. I want to help other people. I really want to help single parents, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. I'd like to take everything I've learned, and, you know, I've got the single parent help book as well. And she said, well, why don't you do that business you told me about? Why don't you have a business where you're coaching them and guiding them and encouraging them, but turn it into a subscription business?
Yeah.
So then we bounced some ideas around in the car. It was a 2.5-hour journey, and we came up with the Creative Single Mum because I'm creative and I'm a single mum.
Yeah.
And the Creative Single Mum is me, but it's helping other single parents. At first it was aimed at single mums, but a friend of mine recently lost his wife, and she was a very good friend, and he said, why can't you do it for single dads as well? So then I came up with the single parent aspect of it. So everything we create is based around single parents, male and female, but I'm the creative single mum.
Okay, how are you going to help those single mums?
Good, and dads.
And dads.
So what we've set up, with the help of my friend Becky, who was the person in our car, so we've set up a program where, for a nominal amount, and we've kept it as low, well, I personally have kept it as low as possible just to cover my monthly expenses. Basically, it's guidance, encouragement, practical tips. I've written a book on how to write a self-help book, so there'll be 2 ebooks. So the first ebook is how to write a book. So everything I've learned, it's about 10,000 words or something. And the second one is how to flip your mind from a can't do to a can. So everything I've learned, all the books I've read, all the life coaching I've done myself, all the counselling I've had, etc., to get me out of dark places and difficult times, I've turned that into an encouragement guide on how you too can get over whatever trauma, maybe a disability, maybe financial circumstances. So it's like it acts as a guide. So they get 2 emails a week. They get access to interviews with other single parents who've overcome some kind of trauma or disability or death of a loved one, etc., to then go and find themselves. And it's them telling their stories and explaining their journey, how they did. And you know, the dark times, the light times, the breakthrough times, how they flipped it. And so it's there to encourage single parents to maybe get out of that place where, because I've been there, where you're trapped in low income jobs, maybe, you know, low minimum wage supermarket jobs, or working in a shop, in a newsagent, or working in hospitality, for example. And there isn't enough money at the end of the month, basically. And, you know, they may be very talented, they may be degree level, for example, but because they're there for the children, their circumstances kind of keep them in this low income prison in many ways. So I'm kind of just giving them the keys so they can open their own prison doors. That's all I'm doing. I'm saying, right, okay, have you thought, right, you're good at crocheting, right? Why don't you turn that into, maybe you can teach some classes, or listen, you're great at proofreading. Why don't you start proofreading for authors? Or, you know, there's this life coaching course. You can get life coaching course for next to nothing, and it just starts people off.
There's lots of ideas that you can give them, isn't there? And some of which you've explored yourself. So you're talking from personal experience, which is really good, and people love to hear how other people have got on, because, you know, we're all human beings, aren't we? So. And of course, childcare is a huge expense these days, isn't it? And just another thing that a single parent has to cope with.
Well, that's why you have so many very educated single parents, for example, working as teachers' assistants, because it's within school hours. But again, that's usually minimum pay.
Really?
And, you know, if you don't have another partner's income coming in, well, that's pretty much all you get. Maybe you get some tax credits, maybe you'll get some other benefits along the way, but you are kept in a very low income trap. And you've got very, you know, or maybe it doesn't matter if you're not educated to degree level, maybe you left school without any education, but you've got this great idea. And yet, because of your financial circumstances, because you need to be there for the children, you're the only person who drops off, you're the only person who can pick up. Childcare is expensive. And so you need to be kind of home-based. So there are many, many, many ways of earning income from home.
Okay. Do you think that most people who find themselves in that situation just have to wait until the child or children have grown up and flown the nest, as it were, and then they can restart their career? Do you think that's what normally happens?
Yes, I do. And what you'll find is a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They live unfulfilled lives full of regrets. And so I'm here to say, look, you don't have to do that.
No.
If you've always wanted to be a writer, look at me, I got stripped of everything. I'm a single parent, I don't have a family, I don't have, I have a family, but we're kind of disjointed, just 4 sisters. And that's all I've got. You know, I don't have the support of someone else. And so everything I've done, I've had to really dig deep and figure out how I'm going to do it. So, you know, maybe I've been waitressing or working in a wine shop because my makeup career had come to a halt. And you got to remember, I got to producer level, you know, and I got to a very high level and it got stripped away. And I was at Cannes Film Festival and London Fashion Week and, you know, award-winning makeup for music videos, for example. And all of it went. And it was very difficult. You know, you're waiting for those 300 quid a day jobs to come in and 2 months might go by and you're like, oh, I can't go. But you know you're capable of earning that money.
Yeah.
So I had to rejig my brain and think, okay, well, I know I can write books, I know I can paint, I know that I can do makeup, I know that, and when these things happen, they'll happen, you know, I'll sell a painting or I'll have a splurge of I've covered all my costs selling my books, for example, and I might still have to continue doing the job that puts the food on the table.
Of course.
So there'll come a point where when I keep doing that, there'll come a tipping point where I'm earning enough that will supersede anything I could earn on my low-income paid job.
Right.
Or even waiting every 3 months to get or 2 months to get 2 days a month on a makeup job.
Okay. Will people who join your organisation, the Creative Single Mum, have access to you personally for advice?
So when they join, they get a half an hour call, a free half an hour call with me. which we schedule in, and then it's all about them. So it's not about me, it's about them. So we talk about, where they're stuck. And so, I'll be there writing notes, exactly on every single person, where they're stuck, what their dream was as a child, what would they like to be. We all have a dream. And what happened to kind of stunt that, or, what's stopping them from pursuing it. So we'll kind of we'll go through that. And then every single week you get 2 emails, and then you join, which I would write the content. I've written the first month, and I've got another month to do. And then they'll get access to a private Facebook group.
Right.
And I'm there.
Okay.
So I'm there.
So
and
they
yes,
can
of
chat
course,
to you on Facebook.
Yeah, if anyone's got any issues, I am there for them if if they need any help. Trouble is, say I'll have 500 subscribers. If I've got if everyone is asking me questions all the time, So it's and there'll be a Zoom call as well. There'll be a maybe once every 2 weeks as it grows. Once every 2 weeks, and then we can have a good hour Zoom call where it can be interactive.
Well, that's a good idea, because it gets people together, doesn't it? Even though they're remote and they're on Zoom, they can all see each other and benefit from each other's conversation.
Yeah, and if there's somebody's birthday, we can, have cake, and everyone bring a cake and make a cup of tea, have cake, or bring a glass of something. Not everyone drinks. Right. So, bring a glass of something and let's celebrate 2 birthdays this week. Make it a community, and I want it to be a support network for all of them, and that's how I envisage it. Further down the line, when we've built it up, like, they make friends.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you meet so and so? Oh, we on the Creative Single Mum network. So
Okay, that's fantastic. What would you say to somebody watching this or listening to this who is a single parent, and how would you encourage them to join the Creative Single Mum?
Okay, so it's easy. We're easy to find. We're the Creative Single Mum, and you can join us on Facebook or Instagram. And so, first of all, that's quite an easy way of getting to me. And subscribing is very easy. You can subscribe 1 month and leave the next if you need to. It's not a problem, but you'll have access to quite a lot of content. So there'll be a free PDF that you'll receive, which is 100 ways to earn an income. And there may be something in there that you think, oh my gosh, I've got a qualification in that. I never thought of doing that. And there are so many, with the way the world is online, there are so many different ways that you can earn an income from your bed, from your sofa, from your kitchen table. You like, for example, if you want to be a copywriter, you can get a qualification, or maybe you've got a qualification, and you can do online courses, and you can sign up to an online course, for example, and there are companies that you can join. But first of all, you need to have the belief that you can.
Yeah.
And so that's what the Creative Single Mum is about. It's showing you different ways that you can achieve something that you maybe have never thought about doing, or that you've always wanted to do, but the circumstances, your financial situation, being home with the children has not allowed you to do. If I can become an author of 5 books during lockdown, during the first 10 months of lockdown, I wrote and published 4 books, and I'm a single parent.
Right.
And I just lost all my income. So I'm there to show people that you can, and then there'll be practical tips on there. So you can join up via Facebook or Instagram, and you can leave anytime you like.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
The website is paulaloveclark.com.
So it's another way people can find you and find out more about the Creative Single Mum. Thanks very much for talking to me and explaining it. Good luck. Maybe we'll have a catch-up interview a bit later on to find out how you've been getting on.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you, Tony.
Tony Lloyd, creating audio and film worldwide.